One of the famous stories in literature that uses allegory is the work of George Orwell, Animal Farm. This story is an example of political allegory, and it tells the story of the animals on a farm owned by an abusive farmer. It is an allegorical story about communism, the political ideology that promotes the eradication of sophistication and therefore the equality of all people. Animal Farm is rife with symbolism, just as the animals represent individuals or groups from Russian history. Whiskey represents corruption, the windmill represents attempt to modernize Russia, and to general incompetence of Stalin's regime. While the Seven Commandments of animalism represent the power of propaganda and the malleable nature of people history and information when people are ignorant of the facts. The writer uses animal representations of political leaders during Russian Revolution. Animalism is really communism. He chooses pigs to represent political leaders, animals that are often thought as intelligent but greedy and unclean. Old Major, or the pig, which lights the spark of revolution on the farm and symbolizes the idealistic revolutionary leaders whose ideas served as a catalyst for revolution in Russia and more general within the communist movement. This tells the readers about the characters that in real life they are greedy and corrupt, which is particularly in the character of Napoleon, who became a dictator that represents the rise of Stalin to the role of dictator in the Russian Revolution. According to some sources, the setting of Animal Farm is a dystopia, which is an imagined world that is far worse than our own, as opposed to a utopia, which is an ideal place or state. The most famous line in the book is, "All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others." This line tells us the emblematic of the changes that George Orwell believed followed the 1917 Communist Revolution in Russia. Rather than eliminating the capitalist class system it was intended to overthrow, the revolution merely replaced it with another hierarchy. The line also tells us, typical of Orwell's belief, that those in power usually manipulate language to their own benefit. Another line that catches my attention was "four legs good and two legs better," stated that pigs have gotten to become more like humans than they were before. This lesson is considered to be important because looking at Napoleon after he gotten absolute power started to change everything around to get his own way. Orwell's intention in using an allegory was to highlight not just the wrongdoings during Russian Revolution, but the perils of allowing leaders to become too powerful.